Lack of motivation now, because you haven't flown for such a long time. You lack the motivation, you lack the willpower. It's become a habit not to fly. So this wonderful client who came to me today, she was turning to alcohol and smoking and not exercising, even though she got 4 holidays booked this year. She wasn't motivated to enjoying them because she got this intense flight anxiety. She was starting to panic already, and it was months before she was due to go on holiday because all her holidays were towards the end of the year. But she came to me, reached out to me really because she needed to stop the drinking every night. She needed to stop the smoking as much as she did because it was holding her back. She couldn't be bothered. She was burying her head in the sand, funny enough, talking about holidays, but burying her head in the sand. Don't mind her burying her feet in the sand and have fun on holidays, but I do mind her burying her head in the sand. But what a brilliant metaphor to come up with when you're lacking motivation, when you have a fear of flying, aerophobia, where that intense flight anxiety holds you back from you enjoying the well-deserved holiday that you should go off and enjoy, or multiple holidays, as in this wonderful businesswoman had got booked. So she wanted to know how she could become disciplined, how she could lose the weight ready to go on holiday, how she could stop drinking every night, be less stressed and stop smoking so much, and therefore she'd start exercising naturally and start to look after herself, and she'd just make those better choices. And she thought, it's never going to be as simple as that, is it? Or is it? You see, when we feel stressed out, when we've got no motivation to do something that we're fearful, we actually sometimes have to just face that fear because it's controlling us rather than us controlling it. She came up with a wonderful metaphor, and I wait for metaphors, whether they're visual or verbal. What I mean by visual, they'll actually tell me something that they're seeing as a scene in their mind, or they'll tell me verbally a metaphor. And this was a verbal metaphor of, I know in my mind what I need to put my faith into flying. I know in my mind I need to put my faith into flying. What a beautiful, gifted sentence that she gave me there, because she was so stressed out all the time. So why wasn't she doing this? She got massive contradictions in what she was telling me. She was at this confused state where the mind cannot hold conflicting thoughts. It has to choose one over the other. You can't be sad and happy at the same time. It chooses one over the other. So we were going to, of course, get her to choose, feeling motivated, feeling that she could have the willpower and stop the bad habits, ready to enjoy her holidays. So she kind of put this massive pressure on her, and she puts pressure on herself because of stress through being a businesswoman and self-employed. But where did that stress start from? And she automatically went back to school when she was doing her exams. And she said, I'm very good at I'm very good at getting it out of my head and onto paper. I know I can do it, but I've always struggled with it. Now, there's a massive contradiction right there. So I sat with her, asked the right questions, because that's what I do during conversational hypnotherapy. I ask the right questions for you to come up with your own answers. My opinion doesn't matter. Remember, it's what you need to do in your mind. So I'm never very good at getting it out of my head and on paper. I've struggled. But you know what? I can do it. That's what she blurted out to me when we'd sat there in silence for 15 minutes. And those 15 minutes, they're silent for a reason, because she will be processing in her subconscious mind what she needs to do. I go very quiet in my sessions to allow that processing to happen. She knows her own answers. My answers aren't in my head for her. She knows her own answers. So she felt she was very lucky in life, and she was, but luck isn't enough. And luck, you shouldn't rely on luck. You've got to put the effort in. Well, she wasn't doing that. Again, massive contradiction. She wasn't doing that with a motivation for flying and enjoying holidays. And she'd got 4 booked, remember. So again, we went quiet for about 15 minutes while she worked out that, yes, she was very lucky. She'd be even luckier to be sitting on a beach, not burying her head in sand, but burying her feet in sand, having a wonderful time. Once she came up with those different scenarios, those solutions to her symptoms, her problems, the difference in this lady was extraordinary. She also commented about the be-all and end-all of my holidays. So why, massive contradiction again, why are you not looking forward to going on those holidays if they're the be-all and end-all? That's a strange, massive contradiction right there, because shouldn't you be looking forward to them? So then she blurts out, it's holding me back, the pain in my lower back, which, let's face it, a lot of us ladies, especially if we've had babies, we have the pain in their lower back. Now, the adrenal glands are at the back here, and stress is hormones released from the adrenal glands. No wonder we have back pain a lot of the time if we're feeling really pressurized and stressed. So I asked her how she could let go of that stress, and she told me what it looked like. It was a lime green string like thing, her words, remember, not mine, running from hip to hip, and it was really smooth, and that represented stress in her mind. So I said to her, how can you let that go? Just a simple sentence. How can you let that go? Again, silence for probably 10 minutes this time. She started cracking her back. No words this time, cracking her back. She was doing the movement that her body wanted her to do. And then she suddenly said, there's energy at the base of my back. That's right, there's energy at the base of my back, and my fingers are tingling. Why are my fingers tingling, V? Of which I started to smirk, because I knew that energy that was at the base of her back, her words, was now going through all the way down to her fingertips, to her tips of her toes, because that energy was now running free rather than being stuck in the base of her back. Isn't that interesting that we can do that? The solution is in our mind and body work together. So let's work it out. If you're struggling with your fear of flying, then I am Victoria Ann Spencer-Kibble from VASK Therapy, and I'll help you overcome as an ex-flight supervisor who flew during the 9/11 era, which of course was when aviation world changed prolifically. Then there isn't anything that you could say to me that I haven't heard, seen, dealt with before, especially on board, that side of the cabin door or this side of the therapy door. I'm more than happy to help you overcome that flight anxiety so you can enjoy those holidays and do it without pills and alcohol, because you don't need them. You don't need them. That fear is stuck in you. It's an energy in you. It's an emotion in you that you need to let go of. And it might be seeping out to other avenues of your life as well. So this is a kind of life-changing therapy that you can gift yourself with, just like you gift yourself a holiday.